Let's move on now to the Washington Commanders 2023 season prediction video, where Ryan and I will break down every game from the Commanders season and also their overall floor and ceiling and playoff probability we feel. But before we do that, if you have not already, smash that subscribe button and also ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new content. Ryan and I, we have a goal of getting to 2,000 subscribers by the start of the NFL season, which means a bunch more content will be coming out between now and September 7th. Also, too, once when the season starts, we will be having a fun season-long competition where we will predict and make videos on every single NFL game. So if you want to see our Commanders videos and predictions, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell. And Ryan, let's get into it here. As I said, we predicted winners on every single NFL game throughout the entire season, just kind of get an overall feel of kind of where teams will pan out. Some of those games also, as you will see, will fall in as ties, and that is just kind of an indicator on the range of games that we feel that the teams will win or lose. So for here, you'll see here in a second, but we feel the Commanders are going to be about a 4-11-2 team. A lot of this has to do with them being in the division. I feel like this will be potentially a little bit higher than I think they are a little bit better than a 6-11 team, potentially 8-9 like fringe playoff team. But just going through the schedule, it was just tough. Honestly, they have a tough schedule in the NFC East because the Cowboys got better. The Eagles are still the Eagles. And the Giants, I think the Giants are just have an overall a little bit better edge with them. Yeah. And then also the biggest, obviously, elephant in the room, though, is just Sam Howell. We don't know how he's going to react to a full NFL season, so it'll be interesting to watch. But it's just going to be tough, I think, for them to overall contend. I think the biggest one to me, as I already mentioned, though, that division record, 0-5-1. I think this division is just too tough for them. If they're in any other division than NFC South, they could potentially be a division winner. And
it actually might be the favorite to be the division winner.
Yeah, it'd be them or the Falcons, in my unbiased opinion. I'm just kidding. But anyways, so they do start off the season actually relatively easy. Cardinals game and Broncos game, I think they match up well against the Broncos. Bills, we do think are going to be on the decline, but I think the Bills are still going to pull that game out.
Yeah.
A loss against the Eagles, going up against an up-and-coming Bears team, but I think that defensive front is going to give Justin Fields fits. And then the Falcons, I do think the Falcons are going to win that game.
It's kind of the start of the skid, right? They start out 3-3, and then the next 5, they have 5 tough games, right? Right in a row.
Absolutely.
So they lose those 5. And then the Giants game, they play each other so tough last year, and I don't expect anything to be any different. We do give the Giants the edge at home, but when it's in Washington, it's a tie. Yeah. Realistically, you could make that another win. But
there could be one, like, if there's games that we could go back and switch and like where I do think the Patriots are the better team.
Yeah.
But I can see that defensive front, and then also then too, if Sam Howell is clicking and getting it, I could see the receiving core of the Commanders giving them fits. So that could potentially be a game where we're wrong on that one, even though we're never wrong.
Yeah.
And so the Seahawks, I think, are going to be really good. I think the Seahawks are going to be contending for the division. But then Giants game is going to be tough, but as we mentioned, Cowboys is going to be really tough. I think that the Commanders match up poorly against the Cowboys. And Dolphins game, that was one I think the Commanders match up well actually against the Dolphins. And so another tough thing as well, they have a late bye. So that's going to be very tough with them, with just 4 games coming in. Weeks 10, 11, 12, 13, they're going to be very tired not having that week off compared to some of the other teams. And so up to this point, if they are 6-7, 5-8, like in the shot, it's not going to take much to make the playoffs. There is that 7th seed now for the NFC where an 8-9 team can make the playoffs. For a wild card, even not even just winning the division like how Tampa Bay did last year.
No, yeah, exactly. And I think the AFC is going to be really close because you're going to have a lot of teams like that are just so good. And I think the NFC is going to be close, but kind of for the opposite reason. You're going to have just a lot of teams that can't seem to do themselves any favors to get themselves in those last couple wild card spots.
Yeah.
So I definitely think Washington is in there with those teams. They were in there with all those teams last year. And frankly, Taylor Heineke was running the show as well. So it's going to be really interesting especially like you said with that late bye. They do get a pretty easy comeback week against the Rams. And I think they match up fairly well against the Jets with the Jets' offensive line weakness as well. And then San Francisco and Dallas are two really tough games to close out on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's going to be a fun season to watch. There's the Commanders. There's a lot of teams that are in the fun stages of the rebuilding. Yeah, and I think the Commanders are kind of like that as well. They've built up really well around their young quarterback, and so now it's like that. It's kind of like young quarterback. If you suck, well, then we're just going to go get a better younger quarterback. So it's like good luck to your one opportunity.
Yeah.
But it really is though. You go look at the receiving room. Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and then I'm blanking on their number one.
Terry McLaurin.
And so then the defensive front, like we all know those guys. We already mentioned them. Emmanuel Forbes and Jatavius Martin, two rookies that they drafted, the first and second round pick. If they're able to improve that secondary to just where they're moderate, this team has a lot of potential. And then if Sam Howell can be the guy, then great. If not, then they're going to draft a quarterback in 2024. It's kind of honestly like an easy future path for them because they're built to win right now. And I think they can. They have the talent for it.
No, exactly. And from what we've heard, Sam Howell looks really good in camp. That is a big jump, though, from camp into regular season NFL football. So
the one drive I watched the Commander, the one drive I watched was Sam Howell leading the way. He made some good throws. He looked like a polished NFL quarterback, but it's the preseason. It's just really tough to kind of gauge how well guys are actually going to be.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on how good you think the Commanders are going to be in 2023. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.